Hey, middle schoolers, welcome back to the art room. An intro to shading techniques, part 2. So last week we learned that shading has a lot to do with value and form in our drawings. But to review, what is value? When we're talking about value in art, does anyone remember? Well, if you were in my classroom right now, I'd probably call on a few of you, but I can't. So value is that lightness or darkness of a color. Dealing with lights and shadows, that's our value. And it's important to have that in our drawings. So form, what was form? Yes, what's form? Just kidding, nobody's in here. Form is making any 2D object 3D. So making things appear three-dimensional. Last time we learned about hatching and cross-hatching. So hopefully you have completed this part of the exercise where you learned about how to make these value scales and spheres using hatching and cross-hatching. Today I have two more techniques for you, and they're pretty cool. So let's get our supplies together, same as last time, and start this shading exercise. It's easiest if we just flip over our first exercise to do our second. If you can't, another sheet's okay. Then we're going to need a pencil, a nice sharp one. Also, we'll need an eraser, a nice eraser. The ruler will come in handy, and something circular to trace. And we will begin the same as last time, creating 2 circles with our circular object, one on top of each other, and then 2 rectangles. I did mine 2 inches tall. We'll do 2 of those, and then we'll be ready to go. Our first technique today is called the scribble technique. I bet you can't guess what we're going to do. We are going to scribble very lightly, slowly pressing harder and more dense scribbles as we move along. So right away, I'm going to scribble, holding my pencil very lightly, and I'm barely touching the paper. And as I move along, I'm pressing a little harder, making my scribbles closer and closer together and creating a nice value scale. Look at that. All right, now we move on to the sphere. And unlike my value scale, we need a light source. I will pick the upper right-hand corner, and that'll be my lightest area of my sphere. So now I will start with the scribbling, pressing hard and densely packed scribbles on the bottom and slowly lightening up until I barely touch the page near my light source. All right, pretty good. Then we need our shadow. And again, right at the opposite corner, using scribbles to make a little shadow. Next up is the smooth technique. For this one, again, we're going to be pressing very lightly on one end and slowly starting to press harder as we move down. Here we want to use the tip of the pencil. So we don't want to hold it too far up. We want to go a little bit farther back, barely holding it, and use the side of our pencil to make a smooth transition between the different shades of the pencil. Again, slowly pressing harder and firmer as we work across the value scale. One thing you'll notice, I didn't have paper under mine, so I was getting textures from the table. So one good idea is to maybe use a piece of paper. When we're all done with that, let's move over to our sphere. Picking our light source, this time I'm going for the left side. And again, making a smooth transition from light to dark with the side of my pencil to create my form, finishing up with a shadow. All right, we've done it. Shading techniques, part 1, hatching and cross-hatching. Part 2, scribble and smooth. Now, one thing I mentioned, but I will mention again. When you are doing the smooth technique, especially, it's good to put another sheet of paper underneath. Otherwise, you get marks that are on your tables like I have. Well, otherwise, we're taking our time, using the side of our pencil for smooth, adding our shadows, scribbling. Yeah. You're almost an expert shader. Can you believe it? Yeah. Well, we have one more technique that I will show you next week. And then we are going to take all this stuff we've learned and create a nice still life with a light source. So there is an end to these activities. All right. Well, I got to go because I have important art teacher stuff to do. So until next time, see you later.